I want to talk about 3 of the biggest tips that Bob gave me that changed my life. Then I'm going to give you 3 strategies that Bob had given me that changed my life. So let's hop into it. So what are 3 things that I want to leave you with that I truly believe studying with Bob has been the biggest takeaways that I got. Step number 1, goal card. For those of you that are watching, it was the goal card concept that first started to change my life. You know, the goal card, it's such a silly kind of a thing. It was kind of a silly kind of a thing. It's like, write your goal down. Well, first of all, you have to define a goal. Most people don't even have a goal. So Bob said, define a goal. What is it that you want? And you make a decision that I'm going to get it despite what the outside world says, despite how much money you have, despite any of that. That was the first thing that Bob said. What do you want? Not what you think you want, not what you know you can get, but what's a fantasy that you can create? Because if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. He got us to believe so much bigger, to create from spirit, to create not from what we see, but from what we see here in the mind. That was the first thing that Bob said. And he said, it's not good enough just to have a goal. You need to write it down. You got to write it down, you got to see it, and you got to feel it. But that's not enough. You need to go deeper. Carry it on a card and carry that card with you and keep it in your pocket at all times. You might be asking, well, why would I do that? Keeps your goal in the forefront of your mind. You start to look, this is your direction. You know, when you open up Google Maps and you're trying to figure out a direction, you have a starting point, you have an ending point, and you have a map that's saying go left, go right, go left, go right. This is your map. This is the direction in which you're moving your life. And you have to write it, Bob said, in the present tense. You don't try, you don't want, you must become the person worthy of the goal. And you got to say it in the present tense. Why? Because the subconscious mind only understands now. It will always express whatever's impressed upon it. So by stating, I'm so happy and grateful, the subconscious mind believes it is real. No longer do you have to try or want. It's yours. That was the first concept. Second concept that I got from Bob that completely changed my life that I would bring to a summation. Number 2, the stick figure. Man, I remember being at that seminar and the stick figure. I was sitting at the back of the stage and Bob brings out this little stick figure, and the stick figure changed my life in 2 ways. The first way was I finally, after all this time, figured out why I was failing, because I didn't know there was 2 parts of the mind. I knew there were, I heard of the subconscious mind, but I didn't know about it like Bob had explained it, because here I was gathering all this information. I was so smart. I would take tests. I would gather information, take a test. Here's what I did in school. Literally, I would not study all semester, and right before the test, at the end of the semester, I would memorize the test, regurgitate it, get a B minus, or B plus, A minus, and that's literally how I got through school. Then I went into business, and I got exposed. Here's the first thing about business. It will expose you. Business will expose you, especially network marketing. For those of you that are in network marketing, it will expose you. And I got exposed and I struggled for 5 years. My bank account did not reflect how much knowledge I had gathered over all those years. And when I saw the stick figure for the first time at that seminar, it changed my life, because I finally started to figure out why I was failing. Bob had shown me something about myself that I didn't know, and I wanted to know more. And the second time the stick figure changed my life was when I was in lesson 4 of the program, right about a week before my first 6-figure. It was like a 6-figure week, but before my first 6-figure month. And I finally understood not only that I had a subconscious mind, not only the control it had on my results, but how to actually change it and speak to the subconscious mind and rewrite it, not for failure, not for broke attitude, but for success, for wealth, for abundance, for happiness, for fulfillment, for purpose, passion, and profit. And it changed my life in a matter of 7 days. And that was the second time the stick figure changed my life. The stick figure, what it does is it illustrates the mind. And it makes it so simple that your mom, your little brother, your sister can start to understand what's going on in this body of yours, so you can actually change the habits and results you're getting. In the stick figure, it talks about the upper part being the conscious mind. Your conscious mind being your thinking mind, your intellectual mind, the mind that gathers information. But when Bob said that part of the mind only controls 5% of your results, I thought, man, I've been doing this wrong my whole life. I've been gathering all this information, but yeah, I wasn't successful. He said, because there is a second part, the subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind is your feeling mind. And within that, there's a little thing called a paradigm. A paradigm. What is a paradigm? It's a multitude of your habits. Think of it as your mental conditioning or your mental programming. And Bob revealed something to me that would change my life. I would never be the same DeAndre from the year 24 to how old I am now. I just turned 26. I would never be able to look at my mind the same way. Because he said that there was a hidden ghost within me, a hidden program that now, no matter how hard I work, no matter how many hours I put in, no matter how excited I got, how much information I gathered, but until I changed the paradigm and understood the stick figure and the subconscious mind, nothing in my life would change. And when he introduced it to me, it changed my life. And the third thing that I got from Bob Proctor was the common error. Once you started to understand the idea of the conscious subconscious mind, the common error is that we would look at the outside world based on our senses, see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And based on what we see, we let it dictate our internal emotions. You see, that was something that I was struggling with because I was sleeping on a couch. For many of you, your results are not what you see in your mind. What you see in the outside world and what you see in the mind are two different things. And how hard it is, let me tell you how hard it is to continue to see the vision of your dream life, to see where you're going to be, even though your outside world says that you're not going to make it, that you're too fat, you're not good enough, you don't have the followers. Where's the money going to come from? The outside world says all this, but you have to believe in something so much bigger than yourself. And so when Bob introduced this idea of the common error, it changed me because I didn't see myself as a broke 24-year-old sleeping on a couch. I saw myself as a successful coach, consultant, and worldwide speaker earning 6 figures a month. And he taught this to me and it changed my life. The common error. The common error states that whatever you see inside of you will eventually manifest, but you got to put to the side what the outside world resources and people said and make a decision. What do you want and go and get it? What do you want and go and get it? And to hold that image on the screen of your mind until it comes true. That with your conscious mind, you can start to see what you want via your imagination. See it. It's your creative faculty. It's your literally the God that lives within you that allows you to create. That's what Bob said. And then number 2, plant that into the spiritual part of you. Plant that into yourself. Start to do it with repetition over and over and over and over again. And so here I was over and over. I'm so happy and grateful I earn $100,000 a month, $100,000 a month, despite what my family said, what my grandma said, what the bank account said, where I was sleeping at, despite where the resources were going to come from. It didn't matter. I was going to get it. It was planting in my subconscious mind. And when Bob revealed this to me, I felt like I started to take control of my life again. I want to leave you with 3 things, guys, that you can use right now to go out there and change your life. I asked Bob this question. I stood up and I remember being so nervous. And I was like, Bob, you can actually see this video on my YouTube channel. I said, Bob, I one day want to be doing what you're doing. I want to be successful like you and Alex Morton. What should I be focusing on? Keep it very simple. And what should I do in order to stay focused? And he said, these are the 3 things that you need to do every single day to change your life. This is what Bob said. Number 1, study every day. Well, first of all, he said, do exactly what I tell you. You know, when Bob speaks, he gets very, right? He said, do exactly what I say. That's how Bob said it. So number 1, he said, study every day. That's one of the biggest things that changed my life is I studied Bob. I'm not going to lie. I didn't study every day, but I studied. It's part of my daily thing. Every day I study 1 hour a day. Bob said, study every single day. Most people don't study. They don't study anything. And if you were to study 1 hour a day consistently in a matter of a couple years, you would be an expert at whatever it is. So Bob, staring right at me in the face, said, do exactly what I tell you. Just like that. He raises his voice. It kind of scares you. Do exactly what I say. Number 1, study every day. Go study Bob on YouTube. There's infinite. They literally have a 24/7 loop of Bob Proctor every single day. And that's what I did as I study every single day. Number 2 that Bob said, staring right at me, do exactly what I say and this will change your life. Number 2, he said, be in front of a customer by 9 a.m. face to face. If you're in sales, If you're out there, eventually you're going to want to start your own business. You're at a job right now. Eventually you're going to want to start your own business. Whether you're in sales, commission, network marketing, consultant, coaching, agency, you're always selling something. If you want to be an entrepreneur one day, you are selling something. And what Bob said, if you want to be successful, be in front of a prospect by 9 a.m. And that's what I did, as I got in front of a customer by 9 a.m. And the third and final thing that Bob told me was study the same book over and over until it saturates my subconscious mind. And he said, that is my personal contract to success. I'm actually reading the notes here because I remember right after Bob told me this, I was like taking my notes, because when he was staring at me, I was just taking it in, right? Bob's staring and yelling at me. I'm like, Bob, what should I do? I'm not successful, right? So I'm just taking it in. And I started taking notes. And that was number 3. I'll repeat it one more time. Study the same book. So there's many things you can do for free. You can get Bob's book, You Were Born Rich. You can go rich, whatever you want, but study the same book over and over and over again until it saturates your mind. You see, because outside of what I've learned from Bob, I was reading books and books, and I thought I had to read a book a day, a book a week, a book an hour. But Bob said, no, read one book and master it over months and months and months. Choose the right book, and that's how you begin to be successful. And he said, that will be my personal contract, which is the key to success.